Hey everybody, it's Benjamin here at the Centaur Fragrance Channel, coming back at you with more fragrances, more colognes, and more perfumes. So let's talk about some more fragrance. Today we got Divona's Coral. This is called Coral from the house of Divona. This is an interesting fragrance. Let me read you the notes really fast, and then we'll dive into what I smell. Now it says there's notes of green notes, tropical fruits, coconut, magnolia, rose, lily of the valley, musk wood, and ambergris. And they describe the tone of this fragrance as imaginative, creative, and sensitive. So, what do I smell out of this fragrance? I have it smelled on this card. And to my nose, this is a very nice citrusy fragrance that also has an aquatic kind of touch, a little bit green as well. It definitely does capture the feel of the tropics, but it's not overtly like fruity, juicy, tropical wise. It's a little bit more of like makes me think of green emerald waters. It is more on the aquatic side of things, in my opinion, even though it does supposedly have tropical notes and coconut and some of these notes that could have more weight to them. I still feel like this is more of a bright, citrusy, happy fragrance instead of going more on the fruity side of things or even possibly more on the gourmand side of things. So overall, it's very fresh, it's very likable, very wearable. Um, I do feel like because of the magnolia, sometimes that magnolia can add a tiny bit of soapiness, kind of that aspect to it. And I kind of do get this from this fragrance. The white florals, the lily of the valley, and the magnolia, as well as coconut. Coconut can kind of slightly be soapy as well. So I kind of slightly in the background get a slightly soapy aspect to this. And some people might not like that, and some people might absolutely love that. It's fresh and citrusy. It does have a tropical, floral kind of vibe to it, and it does have a little bit of that white floral soapiness. It doesn't have the indolic white florals, and it smells very modern. So overall, this is a very nice smelling, happy, cheerful fragrance. Um, but it does have kind of that white floral vibe and the citrus and the tropical nature, all kind of mixing together in an interesting balance of things. Um, to me, there's not a lot of woody nuances in the dry down. A lot of Divona fragrances say they have some wood. If they do, it's a very light wood. It just adds a little bit of weight to the dry down. Really, no distinct woody smell in particular. And the ambergris to me isn't a big player in this fragrance. It doesn't sparkle. It doesn't dominate. It doesn't really have a big salty, musky aspect in this fragrance at all. But it does add a little bit of character to the vibe and a little bit to the feel. And it certainly that's kind of needed with this tropical vibe. I think that, of course, a tropical fragrance, a lot of the time, does very well and deserves a good dose of ambergris. So, very interesting fragrance. Very interesting brand. I do like this brand overall. And I'll talk more about that in my final thoughts. But with the performance of this fragrance, I get anywhere from 5, maybe 6 hours. Maybe somebody out there gets 7. But honestly, this is more of a 5-hour fragrance. It doesn't last the longest, but when it's around, it's very cheerful. It kind of gives average projection and average sillage. So to some people, that might not be the best performance in the world, but this fragrance does smell very nice, and it does have a very cheerful quality about it. 5 or 6 hours for a lot of people is not bad, especially when you want something maybe a little bit more inoffensive and a little bit safer for everyday situations. If you have something, that maybe projects a little or performs a little bit less, you're going to be a little bit safer overall. So, of course, this is a 24/7 all year round, wear it anytime, anywhere kind of fragrance. It might struggle in the winter, of course. I don't think that this fragrance will stand up to the cold very well, but overall, an enjoyable fragrance for sure. With the compliment factor, if you're a big niche head, if you're a big, aficionado and lover of niche fragrances, you're going to notice that this fragrance has synthetics. This house of Divona does use synthetics, but for the most part, I think that the Divona does use synthetics very well. It's a well-composed fragrance. It's done very well. I think perhaps that's with some of their fragrances, they could blend them, maybe with some notes to round things out, maybe a little bit. But I don't think that the syntheticness in this fragrance is off-putting. I think that the average person, especially if you are familiar with more average designer fragrances, I think that this actually might smell high quality to a lot of people out there. I wouldn't be amazed if a lot of people out there actually thought this smelled high quality. So it's a nice fragrance. I do feel like most of their fragrances are leaning on the feminine side. This brand is focused on ladies, and the brand is made for ladies. So I didn't really wear this one out in public. This one is fairly unisex, but it still kind of leans slightly feminine, even though it's a bright, happy, cheerful citrus. It's perfectly wearable. I guess maybe for more of a guy who's comfortable with fragrances like, I don't know, Carolina Herrera's 212 Man. This fragrance isn't as masculine as that. This is more on the feminine side, but interesting juice. Overall, my final thoughts with this fragrance. With the compliment factor again, I think that it's going to be happy and cheerful. I think people are going to really like this feel of this fragrance. I think that people are going to enjoy this brand. You can buy a 1 ounce bottle for about $50 odd, 55 I think it is, and I think it's a good brand. It's a nice. It's if you're picky about value, this might not be the best value in the world for what you're getting, but they do donate to charity. This brand is focused on helping ladies rebuild their lives who have suffered from abuse and maybe even trafficking. So I think that that might be a consideration for you, and the brand is made by ladies for ladies. So I think that this brand does deserve that kind of some recognition for that. Very wearable. There's not a lot of overtly citrusy fragrances out there for ladies. If you go out there to your average mall, there's just not a lot of fragrances for ladies out there who are making more aquatic style fragrances for ladies. And I think that they did a good job. And I think that that is something that they're filling a gap in the market, and that's something to be admired. So overall, decent brand, decent fragrance for sure, and I would definitely give them a chance if you're interested in them for sure. And I do have to say that I do like Magnolia. So in the dry down, I do think the Magnolia is very nice. Coming from the South and being around magnolias, I think that that is a beautiful smell. And also, if I didn't tell y'all at the beginning, this sample was sent to me for review, but they've never paid me anything. I've never been paid anything on my fragrance channel from anyone at any time. But I just want to put my review out there for y'all. Hopefully, y'all will give this brand a little bit of a chance and check them out. Just like some of these indie brands, they don't get a lot of love and not a lot of people talk about them. So if you're excited about this brand, if you love their fragrances, if you have given them a chance, maybe spread this by word of mouth. Maybe tell a friend, because I want to help these people out. I think they're good people. I think they deserve a little bit of attention. Anyways, this has been my review of Divona's fragrance called Coral. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Did you enjoy my review today? Does this fragrance sound lovely? Does it sound enjoyable? What do you think about this fragrance? Check them out. And if you did like my content, of course, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share the video, tell a friend, and when you do hit the notification bell, hit all notifications. So, my friends, I'll see you next time. Wear what you love and rock what you got. This is an interesting little fragrance for sure. And I'll see you next time, my friends. Have a good one. Peace out, and live a good life. Enjoy life. I'll see you, and bye.